I think it's already 6:50 and we are incredibly late this morning.
Yeah, we are.
I'm sorry. I'm having a morning. It happens. There's the normal having a morning. Good morning, Ruby. And then there's the really having a morning. We've made about as good progress as we could have. Ruby says 7:27 a.m. for our arrival, so with any luck, Johnny actually won't be late. It's 38 out there this morning. It was another chilly start. We're supposed to have a nice warm-up this afternoon though, so I'm certainly looking forward to that. I'd love to find some butterflies to take pictures of. I think traffic was actually a little light this morning. It was a good morning. I really needed that break. We made it. You have a good day, buddy. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
I would really like to go check out another new Walmart this morning for Hot Wheels, but it's either Morrisville or Clayton, and during morning rush hour it's not a good idea to go to either of those. I'd have to get up on 40 and go through rush hour traffic and head toward Research Triangle Park to get to the Morrisville store, and yeah, that just doesn't seem like a good idea. I'm stopped here at the Baptist church where I spin the Pokestop some mornings, and I'm admiring the beautiful pansies and gotten down and taken a few pictures. The fountain's pretty all year round. This is the one I've taken pictures of in the winter when it's icy. And they've done a really nice job with the pansies. They look great. You can hear I'm next to Highway 401. It's very loud, unfortunately. I'd much rather just listen to the beautiful fountain. But someday Tesla's gonna make semis that'll be on the road, and it won't be this loud anymore, I hope. And goodness gracious, I can smell the car exhaust too. Dang it. It's too pretty of a morning not to go for a brief walk. And apparently I'm plagued by loud vehicles today everywhere I go. So Michelle and I have been wondering why the whole jewelry area at our Walmart was clearanced out, because that's not going on at any of the other Walmarts. And I just learned that our store is up for remodel, and that they are gonna start the remodel next month, and it's scheduled to take most of the summer. We're gonna get new floors, and we're gonna get one of those fancy pickup orange things that I saw at the Apex store yesterday, and they're basically gonna relay the whole inside of the store. I just cannot wait to try to do my shopping while they're doing that. But I'm sure it'll be nice in the end. Honestly, I'm happy with the store the way it is, so them remodeling it will probably frustrate me. My Hot Wheels are off the floor, but they've also taken away this little display that was on the end here. It's time to start checking out the garden center every time I come by. I 100% confirm there are no Tesla Hot Wheels at Walmart, because I went through the, I don't know, 500 Hot Wheels in the deep cardboard bins at the front of the store again, and not a one. So Dawn is going with me this afternoon to pick up Johnny. We are going to go check out the tulips at the WRAL Azalea garden. Right?
Right.
So all of a sudden Dawn started telling me about what they said to the governor's committee task force the other day.
Yeah, there were 4 sessions, and they, you know, all of the sessions in one way or another tried to deal with promoting the adoption of zero-emission vehicles. The first thing I'd like to say is they never mentioned the word hydrogen or fuel cells. So they said battery electric, but they did acknowledge that there were these other alternative fuels. They did say there are other fuels other than battery electric. I think that's how it was said, and that was the total thing. So they are focusing on EVs, which I think is the right thing. The next thing is, one of the ones was where to put the charging locations, and Johnny and I put little dots on a map that ahead of time they had said, based on travel patterns, these are the routes. There were different colors. A certain number of cars per day go on these routes. Well, we did put dots on those. In fact, I put one dot down in New Bern because we had went to New Bern in our Tesla. When we got down there, there was no place to charge other than bed and breakfast. And we had found out later we could have called them up and they would have let us charge. If we were in trouble, we would have done that. But we had enough range. That's the reason why you have a 295 mile range, right? So model.
I know, I see it.
Model 3. Anyway, we said, I said, since the state has limited resources to install fast DC chargers, once they decide where they want to put it, and they've got a list of, let's say, 50 locations that they can put DC fast charger, what they should focus on is not the ones like in Raleigh or the ones in Charlotte. They ought to focus on the one in Clippy Springs or somewhere else. Anywhere that a private charging provider is not likely to install a charger anytime soon. The ones that are out of the way, those are the ones I feel the state should go on and put in, because that way it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years before a private person gets around to installing a charger there. And yet every year somebody who goes up and down that road would say, well, we can't buy an EV, honey, because look, we don't want we need a charger right about here, and there's no charger. So anyway, so I said prioritize the locations or public private charge is not likely to go in. The other thing we talked about was, once you decide on where these are going to be, go on and put the sign up, say future EV charging station. So every day when somebody drives by, they'll see this sign, come up with a logo, and every day they go by, they'll see this is a future EV site. And then someday when you finally put it in, maybe 5 years from now, you could stick a little spectacular on there and say, now open EV charging station, because the electric car owner doesn't need the sign. He already knows. They've got their phone, they've got their app, they know where the EV charging things. The sign is to advertise to a car driver who's going up and down that road every day that there's a place he could charge his electric car if he had one.
Yeah, you said like we've already got future
540
or something.
Future Interstate 78. We see those signs all the time. So I just say, well, why not use that same concept of the future to handle future EV charging stations? Because I admit it may be 10 years. Well, I've got news for you. There's roads around here, they've been up, those signs, future 540 or something, it's been up for at least 10 years. So anyway, that was another one. We definitely said that they need to change the building codes. When you've got to at least run the conduit when you build. Oh, is that the Model 3?
That is, it passed us.
Okay.
Yep.
You've at least got to run the conduit, even if you don't run the copper, when you build the house or the apartment complex or whatever, for the EVSE to easily be installed without additional expense of digging up the parking lot, jackhammering through concrete, all these things that drive the cost of installing the charger up. If you just ran the conduit, it's pretty relatively inexpensive. I mean, copper's not cheap, but it's way cheaper than backhoeing trenches and pouring concrete and all that other stuff that people have to do sometimes. So they need to change the building code. And the key thing about the building code in North Carolina, it is statewide. There are certainly local codes, but all the local codes then refer up to the state code, which of course then refers up to the national building codes. Okay, so there's a hierarchy of building codes, and the state at a state level could stick in there that says, if you're building a house, certain square feet or whatever, you could put it in there that they'd have to put in a conduit or something to facilitate the EVSE some point in the future. Anyway, that was it. So the signage, the building codes. Oh, the other things they've got, I said they ought to do is the dealers, you know, if a few years ago when I went and got a building permit, back with my garage, I think that building permit was like $80. Well, I got the permit to put in my air conditioner, and that was $150. So, like a lot of municipalities, they've been jacking up building permits and business license fees and things like that. So what they could do on the car dealers is, I don't know what a business fee or dealer's a license fee cost in North Carolina. I have no idea, but I bet it's not horrendously expensive. I bet, let's say it's $1,000. One thing they could do is they could say, well, look, your dealer's license is going to cost you $50,000, and for every electric car you sell, we'll give you $100 off that business license, your dealer license. Since dealers want to sell cars, we'll give them an incentive. It will cost the the taxpayers, the state of North Carolina, nothing. It will cost the dealer a lot of money if he doesn't sell electric cars. If he starts selling electric cars, he will save some money. He said, well, the manufacturers don't want to do it. Well, I got news for you. If the dealers start pounding on I think the customers are beating on the dealer's door. Enough customers today are beating on the dealer's door. They want electric cars, and the dealer says, well, we can't get that allocation because it's going to the ZEV state. Those are only sold in California. Or, well, you know, we've got this really nice gas car we can sell you today. It's way cheaper. You don't want those electric cars. Well, you're not going to fix those incentives unless you twist the dealer's arm. So, I think, you know, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 dealer's license fee, perfectly reasonable. Every car you sell that's electric, you get $100 or $200 or $500. You pick that number, and you know, then they could actually, if they sell enough EVs, their business license is free.
We've got Johnny. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Mom.
How much homework?
I'll have to look.
Well, since robotics isn't scheduled to resume until next week, I decided it would be a good day to go check out the tulips over at WRAL. You're supposed to say, okay, Mom.
Okay, Mom.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Kids. We're here, and just like they've been advertising on the nightly news, it's gorgeous. We try to come every year. Now, this is called the Azalea Gardens because the most thing they have planted here is azaleas, and there are hundreds, if not thousands of them. They'll be out a little later in the spring. So WRAL Studios is down the hill there, and the Azalea Garden is up here on the hill. They have a lot of weddings here. It's gorgeous. I love tulips. And you can't have a beautiful garden without guys to maintain it. Yeah, right here at the entrance they haven't bloomed yet. Like they have at Duke Gardens also, they do a great job of underplanting the tulips. Because you know, if you just plant tulips in the dirt by themselves, it's not super pretty. But if you put all of these pansies, and I'm not sure what this plant is, but they've added some nice additional color. If you put pansies underneath them for an underplanting, just spectacular. A beautiful view up the hill, and then an awesome view down the hill. I'm looking for swallowtail butterflies, but I don't see any up there. These are my favorite up here, the oranges and the yellows and the tulips that aren't a solid color. They've got like streaks of color going through them, and the sunlight is really great up here all the time, so you get this nice glowing effect. This is my favorite spot here at the gardens, at least when the tulips are in bloom. So the last time we were here, which was sometime last summer, they had added on over here and pushed out this wall, and they're done with it, and it looks really nice reflection. And the fountain's back running, and turned out really good. So the fountain is a Pokemon Go gym, and it had one slacking in it for Team Valor, so I took it down and we're filling the gym up now. Right, Johnny? Wow, these glowing purple tulips are nothing short of amazing. I love them with the sun glowing through them. Yep, if you were going to get married out here, I'd say this is the week to do it. The Yoshino cherry's great, the tulips are great, the weather's great. This is usually where they take the pictures of the bride. A lot of them have trains on their dresses, so the whole area is covered in beautiful flowing fabric. It's very pretty. Sometimes they show the brides from a distance on the nightly news. They have some beautiful camellias in the gardens as well. Don and I will definitely come back when all of these azaleas are in bloom. Johnny's so excited because Sky 5 is landing on the roof over here. He's running to see it. Did it land on the roof, Donnie, or in the parking lot? I guess it's on the roof. Way cool. What do you think about that, Johnny? So last year when we were here, they were working on this expansion. So we're a little surprised to see that they haven't progressed on it more.
Right.
I mean, I would have thought an army of men would have come in and it just would have been filled.
Right.
But they've put in electrical probably, and the little path and sprinkler system, and you know, installing a new garden, it's got to be done right. So, and I do see some plants in buckets over here that they're probably going to install this spring. fun. We were there about an hour. It's a lovely gardens, but it's not so huge that the guys get put out with me over the pictures and time on the ground in the garden. So I think I got some good photos. Poor Johnny though, he's got a headache, so he may not be smiling quite his usual self. Bye buddy, have a good class.
Bye, Mom. I hope you have good Pokemon going.
Okay, thanks bud. Okay. I'll catch a shiny for us all.
Alright, bye.
Bye. Ruby traveled 98.5 miles today.